welcome back to another stream. Today I'll be continuing the world in Vintage Story. Last time we got the copper we needed to make the tools, so hopefully today we'll be able to build and start farming, so that way once we reach later on, we'll have food and a house to live in rather than just what we currently have as a tiny hut. We already have some grains, but they'll likely not last that long. Oh, there's a pig there. Oh, a boar, which I could farm. So, the first thing that I want to do is I want to start thinking about, like, how I want everything to look, because I'm not actually going to be living here. I just turned this into a temporary location simply because it's flat. Oh, there's goats here, too. Okay, I may actually live here and just have a farm connected by a giant path from all the way over there. Although I'm not entirely sure that I want to do that just yet. Simply because if I have a giant path, it's going to be harder for me to manage my farm. And I kind of like having easy access to the farm. So maybe I could have like I build the house over here and then I make a small farm over here, but then also I have a larger farm over where it's almost always raining. So that way I actually have one, a constant source of food, and two, I have a close by farm that I can manage very easily without needing to run all the way out to the ocean, and the one out by the ocean area basically will keep itself watered. Although I feel like I should actually make some charcoal today too, so I'm going to be cutting down trees and planting more close by, so that way I'll actually be able to have some charcoal for smelting in the future. And also I'm going to be needing a lot of trees, so I can use oak wood to make tannin when I eventually reach leather. That's walnut. Okay, I'm not sure. I could just quickly check if tannin can be made with walnut. It can be made with acacia and oak. Okay, so I'm just going to chop this down and turn it all into firewood. So that way I can have a start on the charcoal. That looks like oak. It's maple. There's so many different wood types that look similar. And whilst chopping down these trees, I can also decide on what type of wood I'd like to build my house out of, seeing as I plan on building my house out of wood. That's oak, okay. So let's chop this down so we can, in the future, make some tannin. Oh, a rift is opened up nearby. Okay, activity's currently at medium, so I don't really have to worry. Oh, it's really close by. Oh, it's right there. Okay. I'm just gonna chop down this tree. So this tree will likely give a lot of wood since it's a very tall tree. And it's oak wood, so it's going to be very useful for making tannin. That actually didn't break my axe. I was thinking it would. This is so much. What? That's lead. Okay. Holy cow. I've filled my inventory with wooden. And it's just... I'm going to have to leave this here for now, because I have to go back, empty my inventory a little bit, and then come back to pick up more oak wood. That's gonna make making tannin extremely easy, and it's mostly just going to help a lot in the mid-game. So that way I don't have to go out on gathering trips for oak trees, although I still probably will simply because I always like having a surplus of materials. Do I have any? Yes, I do. I have flint. So I gotta make another axe since my current one is about to break. And then I gotta make some firewood to put into the charcoal pit and make charcoal with. And hopefully this will be able to allow me to make most of the charcoal that I need for everything that I'd be doing. So I'm gonna start by filling in all of this, and then taking this. Each stack of logs is 2 stacks of firewood. Okay, so as long as I just place it like this, it'll fully fill up everything in here, which I would like to avoid using the oak logs, but I'm just going to use them since I don't have a direct use for them just yet. And in the future I can use the oak logs for making tannin, but right now I don't have the resources to make tannin yet, since to make tannin I need a barrel, and I need the barrel to even use the tannin too. And I gotta finish up the charcoal pit soon. So I'm going to need another 3 log stacks and then another half a log stack for firewood. And then on the top I just light a fire and then it seal it off and I start making charcoal. That's going to be a lot of charcoal and hopefully will last until iron. Otherwise, if it doesn't last until iron, I'll have to make more in the future, which won't exactly be that hard in the future. But right now, I basically just need to place that, and then I'm going to use 2 logs for firewood, or 1 log, okay. It only takes 1 log. And then I put that on, I light it, and then I seal it off, and now I have charcoal cooking, so I can sleep the night. And next in-game day, I can go and pick up the rest of that wood to continue with progressing, basically. My main goal still is just getting a house built. Okay, the charcoal pit's working. And the oak tree was over here. It was a very large oak tree, providing a ton of logs, and basically is just going to make it to where I will have to collect wood a little bit less often, but I still haven't quite decided on what I'm going to be building my house out of yet. So all this oak wood could just be thrown into a chest until I have the barrels to make tannin. Or I could end up using it all to build the house. Although I think I may just build with pine, since I have always liked building with pine in this game. That tree looks fine to cut down, no resin. So I'm gonna cut it down then. I also already need to make another axe. So once I head back, I'll be making another axe. But for now, I'm just gonna continue around with this axe and basically just break it. There's quartz there. Oh, so the reason I'm not marking anything down right now is because of the fact that I don't exactly need to focus on that right now, and I have a lot of other stuff that I intend on getting done first, so I'm going to get everything else done, and that's a wolf. There's the wolves. So let's not go there. Oh, there's copper here. So I will mark the copper since in this world I had been struggling to find copper so much I really just can't lose track of any. Now there's more pine trees over here that I can cut down, so let's I'm gonna break some of these leaves so that way I can check for resin logs, since those are a limited resource, and even though I could find more elsewhere, I'd like to have some close by my house, making it easier to collect resin. And this does not look like it has any resin, so I'm just gonna chop it down. Okay. And then there's this one, which is already mostly exposed and no resin reachable, so I'm gonna cut it down. And then that's going to hopefully be enough pine logs to get me started with building. Although first, before I could build, I actually need to get a saw, which I completely forgotten about. So I'm going to need to collect more copper like this copper right here. Why is it that when I'm not searching for copper, I'm finding it? Okay. I'm just... This seems to be a dense place for copper. I'm wondering if I should have searched here first. That's just... Okay, that's a... I'm just gonna head back and see how much more copper I need in order to make the anvil, since I can't make a saw without the anvil. Although I did just collect some flax. So... Oh, there's Pete. Ooh, rye. Okay, so now heading back. And what's this? It's just flint. And oh, it's raining. Okay. I really hope that doesn't stop the pit kilns. They I really need the pit kilns done so that way I can actually start doing things with metal. And still cooking, okay. That's good. And just gonna open all of these and shift click everything in. Okay, so that one's full, that's full, that's full, that's full, okay. That's rye, and that's also rye. So let's stack it. Any pine seeds? No. So actually, let's put them in here with the rest of the seeds, and then sticks will stack in, and I actually have quite a decent bit of flax. That's enough for 3 flax fibers. If I get just a bit more, which would actually be 6 flax right now, I'd be able to make a first flax bag and be able to have an expanded inventory. Although I could also kill some of the animals and get some fat from them, hopefully, to allow me to start curing hides and be able to make a hunter's backpack, which only provides 4 inventory slots, but it's still better than the 3 that I'm currently getting. Although I really do just need to collect a little bit more copper to make the anvil and be able to start building, as that's exactly what I need to do. Okay, that's just some growing turnips. Is this grown? No, it's almost grown though, so... Up here... And... Oh, I had it. I have multiple axes here. Okay. Wish I'd known that. Any... Okay, I have 1 ingot of copper currently inside of there. And that's not... Oh, wow, I didn't realize I had that much copper just sitting here. So for an anvil, I need 9 ingots of copper. And with this much copper, I have 32. That's gonna put me up to 8 ingots if we include everything that's already inside of here. So I'm going to need one more ingot of copper to be able to progress with making an anvil. So I need 16 more copper nuggets. And since I have a copper deposit marked as able to be mined in, I actually could go there and just get some copper. Or I could go to one of the copper deposits I just found over here, since they seem to be a bit harder to mine in, since they might be underwater. And I'll collect from there instead, since there I know I'll very likely find more copper rather than I think I may find more copper in the deposit that I've already mined out, everything visible. So I'm going to head over here and just collect some copper and make the anvil, hopefully. So how close am I to... Okay, I'm pretty close. There's the lead here, which I'm grabbing apparently. I just clicked. And... Okay, over here. So... It's just here. Okay, right here. Let's go down. And this is the hardest part. Okay. Now I'm underground. And there's copper right here. Let's go. Okay, okay. Getting crushed. That's that's very unstable. I'm gonna head up and see where all this is collapsing in from. So all of this is falling down on me. Okay. As if I mine right here. Uh, that's going down into the cave that I mined out. So let's just... Does this work? Yes. Hopefully it stays working. Because I would like to continue mining this copper. Although it's not quite the best place to mine copper, apparently, since it's only poor quantity. And it doesn't appear that there's much copper here. I may have found copper, but not much. It's still better than nothing, which is what I'd been finding previously, so I'll take it. And once I have the anvil set up, I'll be able to expend some of this copper to make a prospecting pickaxe to be able to locate any leftover copper in veins like this. So now I'll just mark this as a copper deposit 4 and head back to where I head back to my house to smelt some copper. And I actually need to start collecting some food now since I'm running out. I'm eating through this grain pretty fast. I think maybe I should, instead of just eating the grain raw, since I have a cooking pot, I should probably start cooking it instead of eating it. Although, I would like to find some berries to actually make a proper meal instead of just mixing in some grain. I could harvest these mushrooms, but currently my inventory is too full to do so. And just gonna place... Okay, that deleted a sandstone. Just ran past some onions. Okay, up here... Place the copper... Oh, I got my hammer. Okay. Just drop that and take the hammer and... There we go. That's a lot more copper. It's a whole nother 3 ingots plus a little bit extra for making... So I have everything I need for the anvil already in there. Although I could go And I will just throw in another I'll just throw in all of it since I need the copper in order to make a prospecting pickaxe as well as making the saw. So that's an ingot plus the anvil plus the prospecting pickaxe. And then I just throw the remaining copper into storage, throw these nuggets of lead in storage and sandstone. Do I have anything for dirt in storage? Yes, it's now full. Okay. And now I want to grab the colder coal so that way I don't use up the actually good stuff. Since I need it to melt copper faster in the future when I don't quite have as much time. So in here I have an anvil mold, and in there I have a prospecting pickaxe. I need to make an ingots mold now, since I'm going to need that. Okay, so I'm only making one, and just then this. And another layer, so I'm just going to use the duplicate layer. There we go. Oh, prospecting pickaxe mold is done. You know, I probably should have waited until I made these molds and finished firing them before I started melting the copper. But I'll just have to reheat it in the future. But for now, I can at least make the prospecting pickaxe, and the anvil mold will likely be done soon. What's it take to make a mold holder or racker or whatever? So it can be stored on vertical racks. Okay, that requires planks, so I need to get the saw before I can do that. Okay, I need to grab my sticks, and then that's not enough firewood, so I'll take one of the pine logs instead of the oak, since I can actually use the oak for tannin, and cut it up. And now to light this. Okay, it's raining over here, so it's not working. I don't exactly have a way to stop the rain unless I decide to do this, which I'll just do it because I need these, and unfortunately I will have to reheat the copper for the pit kiln as well. For the anvil, I mean, but yeah. 6, I forgot. And then that should work. And then I light this, and this. And now break that so it doesn't spread fire. Okay. Hopefully that works. And if not, then I'm just going to wait for the rain to end. And the copper is melting, so I'm going to take the coal out and preserve it, since I really don't want to waste my limited supply of coal whilst I'm waiting for my charcoal over there to finish cooking. And there's a lot of pigs over here. Okay. I need to collect reed fibers to make reed fiber chests, so I can store more stuff, specifically all the logs that I've collected, since I really want to have my inventory open again. Although I can't be gone for too long since I have the copper sitting in the fire. At least I removed the coal, so I won't waste the coal, but I will waste any heat from the campfire that heated the crucible up to a functional temperature for melting the copper. Okay. So I need 24 for one reed fiber chest. And I currently have 10, so... Is there any more around here? Right here, okay. And that just collapsed. I'll just plant these right here, since I don't exactly have a place to farm them back at the house yet. And getting pretty close. That's collapsing too. And there's some lead here, and since I already have some in the chest, I'll grab it. Although I'm not quite too interested in collecting lead specifically. I'm just grabbing it because it's there and I have inventory space right now. Okay, that's not good. Okay. Okay, it's not dead yet. Now it's dead. Let's resurface. And just breaking that so I can actually butcher the wolf. And there's a lump of animal fat. Just gonna ditch the dirt for now. And the firewood. Head up to the surface, and I'll actually keep the fat. Is it safe to eat this raw? Less nutritious. Can I? You cannot eat it raw. Okay. I could eat the fat, but I don't want to. I'll just go about and place the dirt and throw down this here. And head back up, place this like that. And then this I'll just throw down like this. And I'll be able to head back here and pick it back up later. And this is really why I need to make more storage. In the future, once I get the copper set up, I'll be able to make a large storage area rather than just all these reed chests that I currently have. I'd be able to make actual wooden chests and upgrade them into wooden trunks, which take up 2 spaces but have so much storage space in them that I probably would only need 3 of them, as well as a spare one in a cellar for food, making it very easy to manage inventory. Okay. My hunger rate's still at 120%, likely because of the fact that I still haven't quite set up a house and haven't eaten any actual meals. But I'm making my way there. I'm not exactly sure what determines hunger rate, but I think it's those factors. Oh well, I'll figure it out eventually. And then I'll be able to manage it a whole lot more effectively. Oh, those onions are done growing. Well, just gotta make this reed chest and empty my inventory. And then I'm just gonna open all of these and shift click everything except for that in there. And take that out because I could just throw it on the ground like this. Okay, how's the copper looking? Okay, it was not even done in the first place. That's a shame. At least it's easy to just throw it back in. Okay. Although at least now I know in the future that it's going to take a little bit more heat to heat it up, but for now, until those are done cooking, I'd rather not waste any more coal on the fire. So I'll just throw this down right there, and I think what I'll start doing now is I'm just gonna quickly harvest the onions. Oh, those are done growing. Well, I I'm just gonna harvest the onions now and start working on making a farm. And oh, those were not grown. I just accidentally harvest a not fully grown thing. Okay, I'm just gonna start working on a farm. And this mountain, I'm likely just going to tear down over a long period of time. And this is where having sideways instability helps, because then I can just do that, making it easier to mine down the mountain. So I could just go like this, and then break this, and everything should start collapsing as soon as I hit a point where it's no longer sideways stable. And my intention is to level everything out to this point, since this is the point where I'm going to be building my house. And since I'm not going to be farming here, I'll use all this low fertility soil around here and start flattening the area out where it can still grow grass. And I'm just gonna do this whilst waiting for the pit kilns to cook, since I can't start actually building until I have the anvil and a saw. And also I'm getting some medium fertility soil I can use to plant crops in an actual farm in the future. I'm gonna move this up to the temporary house now. And that's not what I wanted, although I will actually keep the shovel. So, is the charcoal done? The charcoal's done. Okay. So let's see how much charcoal we get. Okay, so is it a shovel to gather charcoal fast? Yes. Holy cow. That's much faster than what I was doing previously. I wonder how much charcoal we're gonna get from all this. Probably quite a decent bit, considering how much firewood I put into all this. And it's already looking like... Oh, it's already more than a stack. Okay. So, we're gonna be good on charcoal for a long while, hopefully. Only time I'm going to be using it is making glass and smelting ores. And eventually I'll have other substitutes for charcoal in place, but for now, charcoal works since it's easy to mass produce technically, and it heats up to a hotter temperature than most coals actually, simply because it goes up to 1300 and the two coals I have only go up to 1200 and 1100. So I'm just gonna have to keep the charcoal in my inventory for now, so I need to go and collect even more reed fibers to make chests. I could make clay pots, but those require some time to bake, and I don't really have space to bake things right now since I currently have two things already in a pit kiln, specifically the anvil mold and ingot mold, so that way I can make a saw. But in the future I'll be able to, and have basic storage, although I might just ignore making pots entirely, except for the fact that pots actually provide a huge bonus to the spoilage time of grains and vegetables, so I'll actually make some pots once I have the ability to, specifically the space to fire them, since that's what I need to do in order to actually use them. Although right now, just having a bunch of reed fiber chests works, because I can also in the future use the knife and disassemble the reed fiber chests and get the fibers back from them and use it for something else. And also having a bunch of onion seeds will be helpful in the farm since the main fertilizer I'm going to be using is bone meal, and onions use up the phosphorus that the bone meal provides, whilst the bone meal also starts adding a little bit of nitrogen into the soil, allowing me to grow things such as the other grains that I have, rye and spelt, since that's mostly what I grow in single player playthroughs and not streamed playthrough that I'm doing right now, but for now this will work. And the reed fiber chests currently are spoiling faster than everything else around them, so I'm not going to put any food in there. Although now I'm going to go and gather some mushrooms, specifically edible mushrooms, so that way I can eat them, and that's the main reason why, so I can eat them. So there's mushrooms over here. And there's also some black currants. And it's a thunderstorm over here. So it's going to be food to last me a little bit. Okay, that was close. I don't know how close, but it was pretty close. And that should be enough mushrooms for now, but not likely for long. And I'm just gonna throw the rice in my inventory, or the spelt in my inventory for now, and continue with what I was doing of flattening the mountain whilst waiting for it to become nighttime to sleep, and oh, well, either it's gonna grow up or die of a lack of light. Out. And if it dies to or starts dying to a lack of light, then I'll just end it and harvest it for whatever I get from it. Otherwise, if it doesn't start dying, I'll have it grow into an adult, and I might do the same thing that I'm doing in my single-player playthrough and make an underground ranch, simply because it helps contain the animals as well as making it to where you just mine it out, and then if you want to, you can redecorate the walls. And it's officially dark enough to sleep, so odds are I'll be able to start using copper the next in-game day. I hope I'll be able to, since it would be really useful. Okay. Slept completely through the night, so that's good. And still firing, so I'm gonna continue with this task right here, and just keep digging. That's really why I liked playing with sideways instability, simply because it allows just the cascade of dirt, and it makes it much easier to farm in flattened areas. I'm gonna plant this here. And there's a pig there. I'm just searching because I seen mushrooms are here. Okay. Must have harvested them since they're not here right now. Oh well. Now I'm going to start thinking about how I want the house to look. What I'm thinking of currently is I'm going to be making the farm all the way over there, so I won't be worrying about the farm right now. But I'm thinking of, like, since I'm flattening out all the way over there, I'm thinking, like, since I already have things down there, if they're surviving down there, I'll turn this area into the ranch and have a underground portion of it likely, and then over there, I'd build the house, and then I'd have the path connecting all the way over to the farm through here, making it mostly linear. And still, I'm going to be flattening this whole mountain, which is going to be a task that will take forever and will use a lot of copper for pickaxes, but once it's done, it's going to make things a whole lot more convenient. And I may end up moving in the future, but for now I have my plans laid out and I'm going to start working on them, since kind of just still waiting for those pit kilns to be done. And just placing more of the dirt just to empty my inventory. Okay. I'm gonna break the flower instead of destroying it because... Okay, this flower can just be destroyed if it will let me. Nope. So I'll just move the flower up a layer. Okay. I'm just gonna quickly level this out. Just very quick. 7 dirt to place. And... Okay. Pit kilns are still not done. Any inventory space left here? Yes, in there. And then I'm going to grab this, move this into there, and then take this down here, flatten this part out, break this, and mostly just continuing with flattening the ground for building. Okay. That's a start. And... Okay. I'm gonna start removing this, since this is just a much easier task than the giant mountain that's right next to it. And still helps make progress towards flattening out the space that I'm going to be using for building. And just keep digging. Oh, I broke my shovel. Well, time to go make a new one. And then after I make a new shovel, I'll start searching for more food, since I've already started to run out again. Okay. And I'm going to grab flint and sandstone. So I just place this, and then break up the flint. Okay. Put the sandstone in there. My sticks should be somewhere. Where are they? There's my sticks. And then I just take that. And now I have a new shovel. I'm gonna grab an axe to bring along, as well as the knife. So if I end up hunting anything, like if that's a raccoon... Oh no, that's mushrooms. Okay. I thought that was a raccoon. And I'll just eat them right away. There's onions here, but they're not fully grown. There's lead. I'll grab it. Yep, lead. And just continue searching for food. Now, there is the animals over by my house that I could kill, including that one in the hole, although I don't really want to kill them since it would make it much harder to start ranching in the future. Oh, something died here. Although I do have the bushmeat that I need to cook, although I kind of want to just leave the copper inside of the crucible. Mushrooms here. Okay, so have I marked them? Yes, they're all the way over here, too. Well, there's some mushrooms to gather now. And that'll supply me with food, hopefully, for the rest of the in-game day. And that will mostly just allow me to continue with everything else that I'm doing. There's more lead here that I'm going to grab. There's just sandstone there. Okay, there's more lead here. So I'm going to mark in the middle of all those deposits lead, since it's likely where it actually is. And now on the search for, oh, food. That's gonna flower soon, so I'm gonna just leave it. Okay. Oak leaves, I'm gonna break them and see if I get any oak seeds. Nope. Fortunately not. Not in need of any birch seeds. There's carrots growing here, which use potassium from the soil. Okay. And there's flowers here, blue and orange, so if I wanted to, I could make blue and orange dye. And still just searching for food. And I should probably stop running to conserve hunger. There's berry bushes there. So I'll actually grab these ones since, well, I just harvested them and I can place them a whole lot closer to my house. And they'll still grow at basically the same speed. There's flax growing here, although it's not grown yet. There's trees and more berry bushes. There's a fox there. I'm gonna kill that fox since it'll hunt the actual animals that I want to be collecting from. Specifically, like the rabbits and every other, all the other animals, like the goats and the pigs, specifically the boars, and none of those are grown yet. Okay. And I'm actually going to grab this flint because I was running out of flint. And it's always nice to have some flint to be able to make more tools with, since I don't know if I can use sandstone, and I honestly would rather not have to find out. There isn't much food around here. Although rainfall's common. Oh, there's clay. Have I marked it? No, I have not, so let's mark it. Marking it as blue clay. And now I can come back here for some blue clay in the future. And there's a berry bush here. Red currants. Here's another one. Will flower in less than a day. Okay. Now to head back with all of this food that I've gathered. I don't have inventory space to go caving, so just gonna keep grabbing flint along the way back, and I'm gonna start eating the berries since... Oh. I actually kind of want to eat the grains now to max out on the grain nutrition. And there's more berries here. I can grab the bush, but then I wouldn't be able to grab the berries, so I'll just grab the berries. And I'll swap the berries out for the berry bush in my hotbar. And I currently have 22.4 health because of the nutrition that I've been doing. So I'm decently resistant to everything, but still would be much better once I start getting meals and everything. And being able to get protein from meat is the next step, basically. As well as dairy from farming is the last step for food production. And the house should be over this way, if I remember correctly. I can just open. Yeah, it's over this way. My house is pretty much evident where I'm building since on the map since I spent a decent amount of time flattening it now. So on the map, it's a giant spot of dirt. And here we are. They're done, so I can now make an anvil and an ingot. So emptying my inventory. And I'm gonna put the grains back into my inventory. Take the ingot mold out, move it back up, and just throw it right there. And then take the anvil mold out. And since it's raining, I'm actually going to cast everything outside. So I'm going to move the ingot mold back outside. And now to grab all my coal, specifically the bad coal first. Since I actually want to use it all up now and heat it up so it starts cooking. And whilst it's heating up, I'll be flattening the area. Okay. And now I want to plant these so they start growing. There... There's a lot of berry bushes right here. Is this grown? No, it's almost grown. That's one stage even further behind. And... Still just... I'm gonna grab these so that way I have them for when the copper is done. Which it's getting close to being done. Now time to continue digging this down. Okay. And I'm going to dig this up since I want to replace it with dirt. Simply because having stone sticking out of the ground doesn't exactly look the best. And the main reason I'm using low fertility soil and not harvesting all this medium fertility soil in the ground is because of the fact that honestly, I'd rather leave all the soil alone as much as possible, and the low fertility soil that I'm using, it's because of the fact that it's low fertility soil and it can't really be used effectively for farming since it can't be turned into medium fertility soil. And medium fertility soil can at least be turned into high fertility soil through the use of compost. And compost is a long way away since it requires barrels as well as 20 days of being sealed to make just one batch of compost. Now here I'm actually going to start... Actually, you know what? No, I'm just going to leave the coal in and just let it waste some coal since I have a ton of charcoal. And the coal doesn't really have any other uses that I really want. So I'm not exactly losing much there. Okay. And now to determine the boundaries of where I'm going to be building. Is that grown? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's close, but not quite. Chickens! I'm gonna try and get it a little closer to the house. There we go. And now, back to determining boundaries. So, I'm thinking here, yeah. And then over this gap, I'll just turn into, like, I don't know. I'll think of something in the future. But for now, I have no ideas. Here's the chicken that I just chased. And, okay, so this is the layer that I'm digging on. So let's start making this collapse. Crashing down. Collecting some low fertility soil for... Oh! There was a water source up there? Now there isn't. And now to just back to leveling everything out. Okay. I need to go through this part here. This is some decent progress on just leveling all of this out. I do not have a spare shovel in my inventory, so once this one breaks, I need to make a new one. I got hit by some dirt. Okay. Now to start using some of this dirt, and I think I'll just fill in holes like this. And I'll fill them in like... Oh, that's bad. That was almost really bad. Oh, it's really bad. It's really bad. I just fell into a cave. And I still need to get back up to get to my copper. Okay. I need to get up. Oh, jeez. This keeps getting worse. Okay, I've escaped the cave. I need to plant this right here for now. And the copper either is done or is extremely close to being... It's still not done. But it's extremely close to being done. Okay. And these I'm just going to slap down here. And that chicken's stuck in a hole. Well, that collapse could help or maybe didn't help. I'm not quite sure. It requires solid ground, but I want it to fall. Collapse. Oh, not with me. I want it to collapse, but not with me on it. Okay, oh. This is really dangerous. But I'm just gonna keep doing it. As each and every time I do it, I get closer to my goal of finally filling in this cave. That part's collapsing in now. Oh! That actually went by pretty fast. Because now I can already go down here and just start placing dirt normally. Then again, I will have to spend a lot of time fixing all of the surrounding area now. But it's actually kind of better than just spending forever just placing dirt in the exact same spot. And also, all this medium fertility soil, I don't exactly need to worry about it because I already have a ton of it, and I can always get more elsewhere and make other parts of the world a little bit less appetizing for living in, and instead make this place just a really good place to live. And also the benefit of just letting all of this collapse in is there's likely some air pockets in there that I don't need to worry about. In the future, I may need to worry about them, because things like this will keep happening, but right now I'm just going to ignore them. When it becomes a problem, I'll deal with it, but until then, I'll just leave it. And now, more soil. Okay, I have run out of soil, so just gonna place that there. Chicken's still in the hole. This may be a very weird way to just trap a chicken. All I need to do is just make sure no foxes can get to it now. And now the copper should be done, hopefully. Yes, so take the coal out of the fire, take the crucible off the fire, start with the anvil since I need that the most. And once the anvil's done, next up is the ingot, then the prospecting pickaxe, and then I can just place the crucible back down here, take off the tongs, place them back down there, throw the dirt back in the chest, well, into the chest, not back into the chest, because I just got it. Oh, forgot the coal. Coal can go back in the chests. And then I'll just use the remaining heat to cook, not the grain, the meat. And I'll take this 2 firewood and just add it to the fire since I want it all to cook. The firewood will burn slightly colder, but that doesn't really matter when cooking food, since it only heats up to like either 300 or 600, I'm not entirely sure. But this actually was... It was originally just a small hole, now it's a giant crater. But the reason why it became a giant crater is because the small hole was actually a giant cave system, apparently, that went very vertically for a while. But just continuing to flatten the area. And I would like to get farming set up, but I may end up having to put it off just simply due to the fact that I don't quite have the ability to fertilize soil just yet due to my lack of bones and lack of sustainable copper. And just gonna continue filling in the cave. Thankfully, it gets easier as the cave fills in more, as there's less just collapsing like that. And I already need to make another shovel. So, time to go make another shovel. How close is it to being done? 600, okay. So, let's actually make 2 shovels. Oh, fire burned out. It cooked 5 of it. I'm just gonna grab a log and not that. This one, and then that, and just throw a bit more firewood onto the fire and cook. Simply because I want to cook it all. Okay, and then here. And that's 2 shovel heads. Grab the sticks from here, take the shovel heads and craft them into shovels, put the sticks back, find where I keep the dirt and add it in. Just reorganize things a little bit, eat some of the meat that I just cooked, and it's hopefully going to continue improving my health. Simply because just nutritional balance. I'm going to continue making this collapse so I can use the dirt from here to fill in the cave. As the medium fertility I'll keep, and the low fertility I place into the holes. Okay, for now it's far enough that way, because I still have that up there that I need to take care of. And now, back to filling this in. This is just a very tedious process. Albeit, once it's done, I'll be able to have a house that looks really good and has the space to be improved, so that way I'll be able to... Okay. That's one of the air pockets I was afraid of. Okay, so it seems like they're either migrating out or I'm going to have to... I don't know. I don't exactly know the AI in this game, but I'll figure it out eventually, and I do know that I can lure them with a trough of grain. Okay, it's done cooking, so let's add it to that, and the copper's cooled down, so I'm going to just throw the anvil over here, grab the... don't want that, I want this, throw it next to the anvil, and now I just need to make a forge to heat up the ingot, and then I can make the saw. And then with the saw, I'd be able to start building the house, but I can't even start the house until I flatten the space for the house. And since I'm flattening a really large area, it's likely going to take a while. Especially because there's another cave here that I forgot about. Well, place this here, and just keep doing this until it all collapses in on itself. As I want to replicate this, what happened here, as that really just made things feel faster. Albeit I may need to just make more of the hill fall down by climbing the hill and breaking it higher up. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Cascade of dirt. And do it again. That didn't do anything. Here. That did something. Here. That also did something. There. Oh, that's fallen to the other side. There. And just keep doing this. Hmm. Living very risky. Oh, I can mine the lead with copper. That's good to know. And I believe there's a lead alloy with copper. Alloy for... Oh! Molly... Chalcus ingot. Okay, and then lead solder. Okay. So, it's basically a vanity alloy if I wanted to make it. Or I can smith it into things. Does that mean that I'd be able to make uh I'm just gonna look it up. Is there a pickaxe out of this? No. Is this okay? That's something that everything here is literally just vanity purposes, so that's not. What else? Oh right, lead solder, and that'd be the main use for lead. Which I can't exactly. That was a collapse. I can't exactly use lead solder for quite a while. Albeit, since it's part of the mountain, I'll still collect it. As I'm basically just collecting this whole mountain. Okay. I'm getting pretty close to the top of the mountain. Can I make a sandstone quern? So if I just search up sandstone rock, no I cannot. That's sad. I'm gonna have to go to one of the other stone deposits that I found previously and use them. Or even find a new one. But either way, I just can't use this giant mountain that I'm flattening either way. That was really dangerous. Kinda glad I didn't die there. Could have been knocked off the entire mountain. Oh, whoa. That was also risky. Well, there's a bunch of rocks that have fallen off the mountain as I've been mining it. Then again, that is to be expected with how I'm mining it. Not exactly mining for the rocks, I'm mostly just mining to get rid of the mountain. And I think that's enough mining for now, so time to head down. And I may as well grab all these rocks that I can. And there's some flint there. It's really starting to get dark in the game. Well, oh! I actually got a full sandstone rock either way. I guess in the future I may be able to use it for building. I'm not quite so sure yet. Oh, that was a lead chunk. time to head to the house and sleep since it's really dark. Sleep. Eating mushrooms while sleeping. As well as some spelt too, since I need to keep the grain up. There we go. And now the mountain already looks different. And on the map, it looks incredibly different. I did not expect that big of a change that fast, and where I was going to build my house currently has a rift. Okay. Well, I can at least go around it and continue with filling in the cave here. And that's what I was looking for. Just a few more times of that. And each and every time I do it, I get closer to risking death. There's that. That falls. That falls. And I'm out of low fertility soil again. Run past the rift. Eat more of my very limited food supply. And just go through all this. Attempt to empty my inventory, but I need to go and collect more reed fibers to make more chests. As I've already filled up every single one that I have. Thankfully, I already know where a bunch of it is. So I can just go over here, grab it. And I don't want this right now. I don't want this right now. And the consistent rain actually is not really the best thing. As a just consistent rain is preventing me from using things like my torch and pit kilns to be able to do everything that I want to do, but right now I can at least do what I need to do to keep working towards finishing the house and everything. And as for making the saw, I still just need to put the time in to make the crucible, and then, or I believe it's called the crucible, whatever it's called, and then I heat the ingot, and then I can use it to make the saw. Specifically the saw blade, and then add a stick to make the saw. Okay. One more. Just over there. And there we go. And since I'm here, I'm just gonna grab all this packed dirt again. And actually, if I remember correctly, yes, the wolf corpse is still here. Technically, not the corpse, but the bones. And that's the main thing I needed. Just continuing running around for now. Eat more food. And now just to make the chest. Head back to the house and place it, and then I need to go out and gather food. As I am almost completely out of food. I'm really going through food during this whole process, and a lot of storage has been made, too. It probably has something to do with the fact that I'm storing all this stone and dirt. I'm not actually going to break all those chunks of lead since I don't have a use for lead yet, so I don't need to. Oh, there's some flax right here that I can grab, as well as some berries. And then that flax is not grown yet. I wonder how close I am to having enough. Oh. But, as I was saying, I wonder how close I am to having enough flax to make the. Okay. I am 4 flax off from being able to make 1 linen sack to be able to store more items in. But for now, I'll just continue running around searching for food. I'm actually going to start by heading towards all these marked locations for food that I have, since if they've regrown, then I'll be able to harvest them, and then they'll be able to regrow again. Although it looks like this was the mushroom deposit that I harvested literally last in-game day. And it doesn't look like there's much else close by. There's supposedly more mushrooms up this way. And that other waypoint was... Oh, there's mushrooms right here. Okay. Found stuff. So let's harvest all these mushrooms. Add them to the stack, so that way it saves inventory space. And basically just start stockpiling food again, as that's what I need to do. Eh. Just keep collecting mushrooms. And there's more mushrooms here. Any others? It doesn't look like it. Although there is a cave. And I'm kind of tempted to go exploring in the cave. Or I should actually spend some time and set up the farm that I said I was going to set up. I just need to head to the place where it said almost always raining, which yep, I'm here now. And so I'd want to set up the farm here. So if I set up the farm there, then I can have a almost completely straight road to the farm. And it would still be in the area of almost all the time rainfall. It would be just on the edge, so not there. Instead, here works, since this is in the area of almost all the time rainfall. Now here, I'm just going to flatten it to 1 layer above sea level. Oh wow, there's a lot of medium fertility soil here. Well, there's even some peat here. I don't know if I can farm on it, but I know I can use it for a substitute for firewood in using the pit kilns. Which is the main reason I'm grabbing it. Although this area I really want to just use the medium fertility soil that I've been collecting, so I'm likely going to be expanding the farm into the lake, regardless of how much dirt it takes, considering how much I'm getting from just leveling out the farm area. So this is the layer that I'd want it to be on. So let's start placing some of the dirt. Okay. I don't need to worry about the sand since I can just cover it up. And just continuing to place. Oh, it's all of that. Break some of this. Okay. My inventory is going to fill up with peat from here. So it's going to be multiple trips back and forth. Let's just designate some inventory space for it since I'm collecting a ton of it. Oh, hit stone. Well, it's a good thing that I have a pickaxe to continue with flattening. I'm making a really big farm since I'm going to want to stockpile a ton of food since whatever goes bad, I can always just throw into the compost for fertilizer, specifically the potassium fertilizer since I get a lot of nitrogen and phosphorus from bone meal. Okay, so that part's leveled out. Break this, place that, pick up these, and start digging out this. Since I may as well. Okay. I may not end up just planting seeds in this entire farm space as soon as I make it, but I will end up using all this farm space eventually. Oh. I wasn't paying attention and my inventory filled up whilst digging this. Oh. I'm just gonna slap down the bricks here. Grab some more. And now I'll head back and empty my inventory with a lot of resources. Oh, there's field mushrooms. I'm gonna grab them. Since I've recently been struggling with food. So it's not exactly a bad thing to grab all the food. Okay. Now I'm just gonna head around the mountain for now. My protein really did not fill up from all the meat that I collected. Then again, it wasn't very much. Oh, a rift opened up. Oh, it'll close eventually. And as for all this peat, I'm not even going to store it in the chests. I'm just gonna slap it down right here. Since I can. Just into the sky with the peat. The most efficient way to store it. That's a lot. Well, I need to make another shovel. So, grab the flint, slap it on the ground. May as well make two. And make the shovels. There we go. Now sticks. And that. There we go. And then just need to find where I put the sandstone. I guess I throw it in there. Okay. And now I'm just gonna check and see if any of the random... Oh, this is grown. There we go. Now, what about over here? That's harvestable. And one stage away from full growth. Okay. And then the onions are still not grown. It appears that the rain's starting to pick up, or I'm just walking in and out of where it's raining. In which that appears to be what it is. I'm just walking in and out of where it's raining. And you know what? I'm going to take my mushrooms and throw them in the cooking pot. As with the mushrooms, I can make 4 servings of hefty field mushroom stew. And then I need to find any logs that are not pine or oak, such as maple from my chests. It appears I have no maple logs, so I'll just take pine. And it'll likely take 8 firewood, considering the fact that I'm cooking a 4-serving hefty meal. And if it doesn't take all 8 firewood, then oh well. Now just to add in the seeds. Oh, turnip seeds. I can stack those with the rest. And there's no seeds in the final chest, but I will take the berry bushes out and plant them. I will not plant them anywhere specifically. Just, oh, forgot about the rift Vermo. Okay. Oh. May as well make a hoe so that way I can start farming and planting all of these seeds that I have. The ones that use potassium, I'll only be able to grow once. The ones that use nitrogen, I'll be able to grow very occasionally. And the onions, I'll be able to grow quite often, simply because of the fact that bone meal is a common fertilizer. And that's actually something I hadn't noticed. It has a nutrient consumption on it, so that means that it takes one bone meal to grow an onion with a loss of 5 in the fertility of the soil. And that's a really big hit for the potassium. Oh, stew's done. And it's 4 firewood, so I'll actually take that out and just throw it there. And pour it into there, and into the bowl, and take the bowl with me. And now I have stew. Just going to go and start flattening out the field again, so that way I can start farming. Odds are most of today is just going to be spent flattening out all this space that I'm going to be using, and then tomorrow I'll actually start the building. Albeit that still works out for me since it's a step in the process of being able to have a suitable farm and just being able to thrive rather than survive. Okay, I'm just about done with flattening out this hill now. Okay. And I don't exactly want just to let grass spread around here since this is where I'm going to be farming, and grass gets in the way of crops. And also, with how large of a field I'm making, I'm going to be needing a lot of stone for fences. Thankfully, with all this medium fertility soil, I'll have quite a bit to expand with. Okay. I've already filled up my inventory, so placing down some of this, grabbing all of this, and heading back to empty my inventory. Oh, gotta place this. Thankfully, it doesn't take forever. There's a raccoon. My inventory's full, otherwise I would kill it and harvest it. Okay. Time to continue adding to the tower. I feel like at this point this is just going to become a monument. Just the tower. It already is almost as tall as that mountain. And I've already eaten a full serving of the meal, so let's grab another. And throw in all this medium fertility soil, and it's run out of space. Well, I still gotta finish flattening the fields. I'm likely going to be literally just destroying the soil in the farmland as it runs into low fertility problems for potassium, and then placing in more medium fertility and high fertility soil once I reach high fertility soil. But until I reach high fertility soil, it's just going to be medium fertility soil everywhere. Ouch. Okay. Just continuing to dig up all the peat so that way I can move it and add it to the tower. And with how much I'm gathering, it's likely that I'm not even going to use half of it. Even though it can burn quite easily, it doesn't really burn for long. So it's mostly like just a something I can use whenever I just don't want to use actual firewood. So a substitute, in other words. Can I hold the torch in the rain? If I start hearing hissing noises, I'm taking it off. Although it looks like I can hold the torch in the rain. As well as sounds like it. Well, just gonna continue with excavating. Okay, that appears to be all of it. Now just to finish placing down the soil, and I can go grab more soil. Okay. I'm gonna grab as much of this as it'll let me. Okay. There we go. That's all of it that I can carry. And now just to add it to the pile. Specifically, the tower. And if I ever end up having to move the tower, it's going to be really painful, but I will end up doing it because I don't know if I put the tower in the best spot. Because I just threw it there thinking I wouldn't do this, and I just use it for the pit kilns as I need it. But it's become a thing. And it's a very tall thing. It's just gonna keep going up, too. No limit. And it appears that the rain has finally stopped. This is a very tall tower. That's a lot. Each single block of it is 32. Okay, so the rain didn't stop, I just left it. Oh, time to sleep. De-equip the torch, reorganize what little bit in the inventory I have, and the grains are still fresh for a very long time. Okay, that's... Be gone. Be gone. Okay. Ow. 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 Be gone. Be gone. Okay. They are now dead. Oh, there's more. I don't know how I dodged them. But I'll take it. Oh, that's a crawler. Okay, it's just this guy now. Is there somebody down here? Oh, the pig grew up! Well, I guess that means that I'm either making an underground ranch or adding an underground part to the ranch. Actually, that could be I could build my house on the surface and have the ranch underneath my house and have glass down to the ranch and basically just everything except for the farm all the way out there is really close proximity, in other words. It would make it very convenient to just go into basically the basement, which would also be where I store all the food as well, so I'd keep all the... Okay, that was close. But as I was saying, basically I could keep all the food close to the farm, so that way I don't have to go that far to grab the food, and I can just add it to the feeding troughs. And then I'd be able to feed the animals quickly, being able to spend the rest of the day doing other things, such as going out and hunt for new minerals, as eventually copper won't be enough. But basically, just currently my objective is, again, making an underground ranch, just like I did in my single player world that I don't stream. And technically the one in my single player world that I don't stream still isn't done, but it's taking a while due to complications. But eventually I'll get it done, and I'll do the same in here, and that's basically it. Well, I need to plant some seeds now that I've flattened out the farmland. And I hopefully don't need to use a watering can due to how much it rains, and as well as a bucket, for the same reason. Although I do want to make a bunch of fences. So, how much... Dang it. I need to... How many fences can I make with what I have? That's 10. That always messes it up. That's 21. Don't need anything in there, or there, or there. I will take out all the sandstone, though. Okay, and then I just slap in the sandstone. And then I just make a bunch of fence. Okay. A stack and 16 of fences. That's actually a really good amount. So now I just head back over to the farm. And now I've actually used up all my sandstone, so I can start collecting more from the ground, all these loose stones everywhere, as I'm running back and forth between the farm. And all of this farmland, I'll be able to plant a lot of crops. I'm going to start a field with these dimensions. I'm not entirely sure. I already placed 16 that way, so I'm going to need another 16 that way. So let's just grab that out. And then I placed another one, so that's there on the other side. And then I'm going to remove 2 specifically because of the fact that I'm going to be putting a fence gate. That's going to take 2 fences, and then the other 2 will go on the other side, and then everything else gets split into 4. So that's 13 for this side, another 11 here, 27 over there, and then 12 over there, including the gates. Okay. Oh. It's not really that much more space. And I'm going to need to flatten this out a little bit more. But it's going to be worth it. As this, now I can grab and start placing here. No, not there. I want it here. And then everything else is just horizontal across this way. And I'm going to grab this just to grab it. And that's all the fences placed. Now I just need to fill in all the dirt. And that's the last of my mushrooms already gone. Grabbing all these loose stones since I'm actually using them for fences. And that actually has saved a lot of inventory space, as well as the fact that I'm going to be grabbing a ton of dirt to add into the farm. And just to put it simply, I'm now using all these resources that I've collected, which will allow me to have more space for newer and better resources and require less time spent collecting all the fibers required to place a new chest. Okay. Adding more to the tower, because the tower must grow. Now I need to go and find some food. There's some berries I can harvest right here. There we go. And then there's some crops. Are any of them grown? No, and that one looks like it won't grow simply because of the lack of light. There we go. Now it should be able to grow. And I'll never lose my house again, even without the map. Simply because of the tower. And the tower may not be visible on the map, and the home point is almost directly on top of the tower. I didn't even intend that. And the pig is still down there. Okay. So I'm just going to spend this entire in-game day collecting food, since I need a lot of food. Even though I'm going to be planting a field, it will take some time for the crops to grow, so I still will need food. And this entire trip, I'm going to be killing foxes, raccoons, wolves, and bears, and grabbing berries and the like. Okay, that's a fox and only one bushmeat. Okay. Ooh, some seeds. I'll always take more. And these look like they'll have a hard time growing with all of these leaves. There we go. Now they should start naturally decaying whilst I'm breaking them. Yep. Which is going to give me sticks. Okay, what happened? What on earth happened here? Was there like a surface cave that just caved in? Okay. That was something I actually hadn't seen. What is... How did I not notice that terrain generation? I've been over here, and I didn't notice that terrain generation. I've been at that terrain generation, and I didn't notice it. Oh, fox. Okay, I need to land another... Aw, dang it, I died. I died to a fox. Oh, food. I died. Oh, food. Okay, so I need to go really far to the west. Although I do need to eat since I died. And I actually can grab some turnips. Or onions, I mean. Oh, there's fully grown flax here and a decent bit of it. I died and I lost quite a bit of the nutrition that I had built up. Although I do get this quartz. Which I can use all this quartz to make a whole bunch of glass. So I'll be able to add windows. And if I get if I get wax, I can use the wax to make candles and make lanterns, and using the clear quartz is what I need for the lanterns. And then I can swap out the clear quartz glass for actual glass after making the lantern and be able to have a clear light lantern, and then eventually in the future I'll be able to get gold and line the lantern with gold and have a really bright lantern that I can carry around with me and use underwater. To put it simply, just glass. And I need to recollect my stuff, and then once I grab my stuff, that'll be the end of the stream. And I'm just really greedy and want all this quartz. Ooh, resin. I'll always take resin. Even when I have no inventory space, apparently. Just quartz. The greed for quartz. All of this is quartz. So much quartz. The quartz is starting to run dry now, which is actually a good thing, considering how much I've just gathered there. That is a lot of quartz. More than a stack and a half of quartz. And any resin I come across, I'll collect. Although, I do need to keep heading west, which is this way, okay. Just needed to make sure I was still going the right way. Because I collected quartz for quite a while. Ooh, resin! Oink. And I'm just gonna swim across this water unless I literally can just walk along the shoreline. Which, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Walking along the shoreline. Okay. Oh! There's coal in the wall! I'm gonna mark this. Pickaxe, brown, and then... It doesn't have any quantity, so I'm just gonna mark it like that. Oh, there's also quartz here. Although I already have so much quartz, I don't need to mark it. Even though quartz could have... This is a lot of quartz. I'm marking this. And marking it like that, since it's a huge vein of quartz, that's a lot of quartz. And a very large chance for some silver here. Okay. Oh. That fell. Well, I'm halfway about to my stuff. Gotta get my stuff, and... Are you... That's a wolf. I honestly thought that was a goat. Okay. Getting close to running on flat land now. Which will make this journey faster. Okay. That's a wolf. But that's also copper by the looks of it. Yeah, that's copper. Playing it risky. And this is gonna be really risky. But I want to mark the copper. That waypoint's way off. There, that's better. Now back on the run. Anything exposed here? Nope. Ooh! I've seen this block in the menu, but I never knew where exactly to get it. I'm going to mark this as something special. Ancient pillars. And since I don't need it, I'm just going to place it back. Okay. That's a really weird mountain. Ooh, food. Rye. Okay, so I go this way, and then I just gonna run past it. I should be coming across my stuff soon. Okay, so my stuff is off to the west still. There's been a lot of heading west here. What I would like is to get a temporal gear and set up a respawn point at my house so I don't have to run nearly as far. But I don't exactly have access to that right now since temporal gears are really rare for surface drifters and I don't exactly have a suitable cave to go caving in yet. Okay, that looks a lot like where I died right there. Yep, there's the fox. Okay. First things first. Just drop all this and pick this up. Then pick all this up, or as much of it as I can. I gotta reorganize my hotbar a little bit. And since I can, I'll just place back down the sandstone, grab what else I can. I'm gonna eat all the black currants. And okay, the waypoint's still there, so I'll head back, empty my inventory, and then come back to pick the rest of the stuff up, and then I'll end stream. Wait, that's just sandstone, okay. I thought it was copper. There's the house. It's honestly just funny. I built that tower unintentionally making it absurdly tall, and I could just see it from the render distance at this point. And just about there to empty my inventory. And now to empty my inventory. Just shift click everything into storage except for the bushmeat since that's... I don't want to throw it into a 1.4x spoil speed. Now to go recollect the rest of my stuff, and then... Okay, just recollect the rest of my stuff and then end stream. I got a decent bit of excavation done. I built the farmland. I just need to finish adding in the fertile soil to make it suitable for farming in. And I'm just gonna grab this because it's right here and I still have the inventory space for the rest of my stuff. Okay, here we are. All the quartz that I gathered. As well as more onion seeds, apparently. Oh, right, because I gathered some onions and I ate them. And then just gotta head back. And there's the tower, off in the distance. There's the cave that collapsed. Gonna grab these berries. And we're back at the house now. Moving everything from here inside of the final house is going to take a while, but it will eventually get done. But as for everything else that we did today, we got a lot done and things went well. So I hope you all had a great time, and I will see if I can make sure that the raids are working correctly. And just okay. So is this how I do it? Okay. I hope this works. Well, thank you for watching and farewell.